Hey guys, it's Thea. Welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot. Secret member space. Fresh tea. This is the is it Tetley? No, it's Yorkshire Gold. It's Yorkshire tea? Yeah, it's Yorkshire tea. It's a British tea, but it's the biscuit flavor. It's like a malted biscuit flavor, so it's like when you make the tea with a tea bag, it tastes like digestive cookies at the same time, like that malty flavor. And it's got like a sweetness, and I don't know if there's any actual sugar in it. I should read the box, but it's really nice, and I've been kind of really enjoying it lately for my afternoon caffeinated beverage, because I'm too old for coffee in the afternoons anymore. I'll never sleep in that case. So, okay, today's video, we're face-to-face unboxing today, because I've probably already seen this before, but I thought it was time to give it a go. This is the Goddess of Love Tarot. Gabriella Hurst. And I was like deeply curious about this deck when it first came out, but I wanted to let the hype die down a little bit before I jumped on it. Knowing it's mass market, there's no rush, right? It's gonna be around for a while. I felt like now it's been good enough distance between the excitement, and I'll be able to kind of form my own opinion about it a little bit more freely. So we're gonna open this up, we're gonna unbox it, I'm going to react together with it, and we're gonna see how that goes. I want my scissors though, hang on. Never prepared. Okay, let's get this open. I know a few of you have this already and love it. This is a good sign. And I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel like I want to use it is my main question. Because like I can use any tarot deck in theory, but how, like the usability of it, whether it's going to be like a good quick and general reader, which I don't think this is. I think this might be more of a specific one. Hard to say really. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if I'm specifically going to want to use it for what it suggested. So here, let me read the back of the little box for you. It says, whether you are new to tarot or a longtime enthusiast, this radiant 78 card deck and companion book are for anyone who wants to empower themselves through a deeper relationship with the goddess of love and sex and all her manifestations. With Gabriella Hurst as your guide into the mysteries of the divine erotic, learn specific tarot spreads to assist in connecting to the energy of love, lust, as well as how to work with the cards to create rituals, prayers, and devotional offerings to the goddess and yourself. Through this deck and the goddess of love, come back to the body, the flesh, the heart as your temple and most sacred source of power. So I feel like, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be instructional, like with there being specific rituals and stuff. If anything, I might use them as suggestion, but I have kind of my own ways of already doing those things, and I'm not like necessarily open to new ideas, but more so thinking of the deck as a vessel through which I can embellish the things that I already do, you know? Waggle eyebrows. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, new box smell. It's a sensual experience. You have to experience the using all of the senses. So here's the little book. And it wasn't a very expensive deck as well. And I'm not expecting a lot out of the cardstock. Like Canadian, it was $29, which is about as cheap as you'll ever see a new tarot deck. Really? So, especially in like a box with a book. Julia, Snakes for Hair, did the illustrations. The book is written by Gabriella Hurst, and she wrote the Sacred Sex book and a few others. Okay. So in theory, I feel like I'm more so going to be about the cards and less about the guidebook, but I don't know, we'll see. This is not, I'm just experiencing it. I'm putting too much pressure on myself. Alrighty, so I'm probably going to edit most of that out. I was just sort of rambling, just going on, droning on about the guidebook. It seems very like, beginner friendly, I guess one could say, which is fine, but it also might be useful, again, for those who are new to this kind of stuff. But the way I like to use cards is I kind of have my own goals in mind, my own intentions set. Like I tend to not follow like the instructional way other people have laid out to use things. Like that's why I also don't like spreads very much. Like I'll make my own, but I'm not really into following other people's spreads because that was like, you know, their means to an end, right? Whereas like I'm perfectly capable of creating my own, but that's just how my brain kind of works. But It seems to be there's a decent amount in the guidebook, so maybe instead of fussing with it too much, we will wait. We'll get into the cards. I'll pull an interview spread, and then we'll look into the book. I think they're cool. I think they look cool. Do they look too cool? Oh, I don't know. They're bigger. Maybe. Sorry, immediately. I haven't even gone through them. I'm like micro trim, or just to make them a bit smaller because they are. Oh, maybe they'd be okay. I don't know. And I'm not like super in love with the red borders on them. Backs are pink. Very cute. And this is really a cool card. I've seen this in passing quite a few times. The Void, Cosmic Egg, Snake Rose. Yes, I like that a lot. That's cool. Well, let's get to know this. Let's see what our majors are. The Enchantress as the Magician. So yes, it's gonna be feminine across the board. Our Ice is here on the High Priestess though, which is great. Here's the Throne, the Two Pillars, and the Moon. It's a pretty good card also. Venus on the Empress. Kind of divine feminine across the board. So it leaves you kind of open to work with whichever divine feminine you want to. You could use it specifically with Venus. You could use it specifically with Isis. You could use it specifically with, I don't know, Demeter if you wanted. Here's the Emperor as the Sovereign. I like the collaginess of it, and I like that it's not super, super busy, but I think the red borders are just too much. And I think the backs are conducive. I might trim this. I'm feeling. Oh, and cardstock wise, it's not as bad as I was expecting, actually. It's like a little papery, like at the edges, while being kind of a standard satin finish, but it's got the flexibility, so it might shuffle okay. Like, it may not hold up forever, but I'm not really mad. Like, it doesn't feel luxe or expensive, but it was like a $29 deck, so. The Hero Duel for the Hierophant here. The Lovers is the Lovers. I like the kind of sun and moon imagery there. Oh, there's the Merkaba on the Chariot. Oh, did I remember that? I really like that. Chariot is awesome. Chariot is good. And okay, I also like the rose with the eye in it. The kind of blossoming. It's giving, in the art or the Chariot card on the Thoth deck, he's holding that thing in the middle, which no one ever talks about. That kind of swirling, like, red and white circle that the charioteer is holding onto. This reminds me of that, and I like that. We've got Lust here for strength, but it's at 8, so again, it's kind of its own. It's its own version. It does neither Thoth nor Rider-Waite-Smith. It's like its own thing, which is fine. Sorry, I'm like looking at it and not showing you. They're pretty. I like them. And I feel like they're the kind of thing I'm going to want to get to know on my own terms. Ooh, pomegranates on the Hermit card. A little broken heart on there too. This is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. Oh, yes, it's for Virgo. Could be her. Demeter. Okay. I've got Demeter on the Hermit card. I guess it works for the half of the year, or when she was on her, like, kind of looking for a Persephone journey, adventure, trip. One could see that as Hermity vibes as well. With Virgo as a correspondence, which, yeah, it works. Goddess, an Earth goddess. I like her there. Let's see who the other ones were. I'm just curious. Now we got Freya. Freya's on the Chariot. I don't know who Rati is on Strength. I'll have to learn about her. Babylon is on the Lovers and the Beast. Tara on the Hierophant. Hestia is the Emperor. Okay. And Venus is the Empress. Isis is High Priestess. And Kurukula is on the Magician. And there's Demeter on the Hermit card. And I guess in the way... Okay. So in a way, like, how... Here's me tying it together. Demeter is out searching for Persephone when she's in the underworld. She doesn't know that's where she is. So she's got her lamp out looking for her. And the underworld being a sort of reference to the below, beneath, within ourself kind of situation, that the story of the hermit looking within for something is kind of like Demeter going within to find Persephone. Very interesting. Okay. All right. I'll take it. Hence the pomegranates on there and the broken heart. I agree. All right. Wheel of Fortune almost looks kind of worldy. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like a Sheila and a gig. Which looks worldy, doesn't it? Balance. This will be Persephone on the Justice card, which is 11. So Persephone, this is the sculpture of the rape of Persephone, where she's being absconded with by Hades there, or ravaged in one way or other. On the Justice card, interesting. I can understand. I can kind of make it work, but I still feel like my regular goddess associations with all of these cards and signs would be different. Like it's not the way I would have done it, but that's okay. I need to be better at being okay with that. Because some of the cards are really, really good. Hanged One. Here. I like the questions. There's affirmations, there's journal questions, and a ritual. So there's lots to go on for these. But I still think like it's pretty beginner friendly. And I do like the way it looks, but I do also think that I really want to cut these red borders off. Okay, Death. Who's Death? Well, Death's obviously Kali, yes? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yep. So that'll be fun. It doesn't seem too spicy in the sacred sexuality department in the book. It's pretty straightforward, actually. From me, glancing. Reading quickly. Kali, destruction, the void, rebirth, creation. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not, especially if I was just looking at this card, I'm not getting, super sacred sexuality from it. But Kali is also, yes, So, I feel like the quality of the work that you're going to do this with, work with this deck, it may not come from this. It may come from your own personal experience. I don't know, the way you work with the deity energy present, right? And the structure that's laid out. Because the imagery is really evocative. I love, the roses, the snakes, the cups, the blood, the skulls. It's good. They're there. Potential is there. And here's Temperance. Who's on? Hold on. Here's Temperance. While I not show you. Okay, it's Mary Magdalene on Temperance for the Sagittarius card. Very interesting. It's interesting. Is it a sacred sexuality deck if you just throw the word sex in every so often? I don't know. I don't know about the book, guys. I like that the associations are there, because if you don't know about them, if you don't know about that particular goddess, it'll give you a jumping off point to go into, and if you don't know the astrological associations, that'll be great. Maybe it's screaming really tame. It's just really tame to me, and maybe that says more about me than anybody else. Keeping in mind, this is the mass market published deck. It didn't even come out indie first. It just went straight to mass market, so it's gonna be pretty tame. Right? Right? Anyway, let's move to the devil. The devil is Lilith. Of course it is. For Capricorn. Liberate yourself from the expectations and desires of another and live your life on your own terms is powerful. The devil invites you to break the chains and release the fear of the depths of depravity of all of life. To be embodied in the experience of humanity. It's really no different than a regular devil energy, right? But I like it. As on its own, as a deck, I think it stands okay. Okay, we're only at the tower. We're not even into the minors yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. The tower is Erishkigal with Mars as the astrological association. I find it interesting that they're highlighting the astrological associations as strongly in a specifically feminine deck, whereas the majority of the astrological associations are male coded as well. So it's very interesting. And we've got a giant phallus on that one. But again, it seems tame. Maybe says more about me than anybody else. Is that Inanna for the star? That's beautiful. Hold on. We're going in. Yes, it is. For Aquarius. Again, I don't necessarily, you could have had, I feel like making the astrological correspondence so front and center and then going so, veering off in another direction for, the goddess energy is strange to me. But anyway, here we are. I'll need to, I don't know, I like them on their own, I think. I don't think I'll use the astrological associate, even though they're in, they're highlighted in the forefront in this book. I don't think I'll use them as strongly as I would in a regular tarot with this. I'll use it as a goddess deck. Moon, Hathor? Yes. Moon is Hathor. There she is right there. Oh, I don't think the content in the book is standing out as any different from your average goddess deck. Sun is Sekhmet. I do like the look of the Judgment card. The Holy Whore, but of course. Like, I feel like using that in the context of your own experience is more empowering than what the book specifically is saying. But that just could be entirely based on me and where I'm at and what I do and where I've been, you know? So, like, keep in mind that's what this is, I think. And the world. And the goddess is the heart. So just the sacred heart of the world, I guess. The goddess of the world isn't a goddess at all, but the temple that holds her emanations within you. So yeah, it's a representation of the heart, which I don't hate that. And I like the mirroring of the void card and the fool, and I like the cosmic egg type imagery with the snake of necessity, and I like it. I can work with it. It's a little different, and I think this deck is just going to be like a little different from what I'm used to. Let's get into some minor arcana. I think all of the goddesses were in the majors, and then we get to kind of, there's decans. They are noted at the top of the book for the minors, and then an affirmation and a journal question for them. So let's just look. So we're not here all day. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. I like the doorway energy of that. You know I do. Not mad at that. Three of Wands. Don't mind this either. I don't hate the write-ups. They're to the point. There's worse guidebooks out there. I really feel like, I think what happens is the advertising of these decks really chalks up a certain aspect of them, whether it's like dream work or with this one sex work, not like sex work, but like sacred sexuality and sex magic and that sort of thing. And then there's a few others that, you know, really tap into like healing and that sort of thing. And then when you get the deck in your hand and you're reading through the guidebook, it's like literally just another tarot deck, which is great. There's nothing wrong with being just a tarot deck, but it's like they're trying so hard to be different for the purposes of marketing. And like, ooh, look, we're racy, like we have a sex one, and oh, look, this is the deck you want if you want to do dream work. And it's just like, you can do it with any deck, and it becomes really obvious that like the marketing falls so flat because they're tarot decks. They're also like, they're 78 cards are there. You're not reinventing the wheel here, but it's like there's no understanding that you can have a unique and beautiful experience with a tarot deck that doesn't necessarily chalk itself up to be any different or better than another one, you know? Like, I think it's just overpromised. So the expectations aren't lining up. But like, if this was just, you know, if it was just called the Goddess of Love Tarot, which is great, and then we ignore the kind of erotic undertones that are advertised, then it would be better. In my professional opinion. I don't know. Not better. It would just adjust the expectations to a more sensible level. Four of Wands. Venus and Aries. That the meaning in the book on that one's really pulling Rider-Waite-Smith as well. Okay. 5. Yeah, I'm not loving the book, but I like the images. I can work with it. 6 is all okay. Don't mind that. Any 6 is at home in this deck. If you know, you know. Oh, here's my 7. 7 of Wands. Mars and Leo. It's going with the defensive aspect. Okay. Okay. I don't know about the image on this one. I don't know about that one. The 8's okay. In a thothy kind of way. It's interesting having so much rose energy in a Wands card as well. They're usually like more of a, I don't know, you see them more in Earth cards or even Cups cards. But I don't mind them here. I don't mind them. Because the roses, flowers in general, are the like active sex parts of the plant, it makes sense that would be like the fire suit aspect of the plant. You know? Maybe? I think? I would say. There's the 9. Moon and Sag. See, the 9 isn't necessarily about perspective for me. Allow your lust to guide you, but don't hold on to the outcome too tightly. Okay, I don't mind that. That's very sag. I'm abundant with experiences and expressions of love, lust, and magic. Yeah, I like, there's the Sagittarius energy is there in this card, but the moon part is not. Maybe I'll need to work with that one a little bit more. 10 of Wands. Saturn and Sag. And to try too hard in love is to pull the teeth of fate. I like that. Struggling against your own power. Yeah, that one's good. I like that one. And I like the top little rosy guy there with kind of the sharp, fiery, teethy bits kind of on it. But again, they're simple. Like, I would almost call these the Miner's Pips. Okay, Page is the Maiden of Wands. Sexual awakening. Okay. Don't mind that. Okay, the Courts might come through. We'll see. The Knight is the Witch. Witch of Wands. Heir of Fire. And I like the image. The images are beautiful. Who's the Queen of Wands? Water of Fire. Doesn't say necessarily who. The potential birth to dimensions into existence through sacred chaos calls you into self-awareness, and ways of sexuality and love inspire you. And the Crone is the King. Fire of Fire. This is the daddy of the tarot. Ace of Cups. See, that's so pretty. I like that. Two of Cups. Venus and Cancer. Three of Cups. Kind of expanding the love from a partnership into the far reaches of your life. Where else can you get love outside of an intimate relationship? Always good to consider. Five of Cups is... Oh wait, no. Four? We're on the four. Jumped ahead too far there. Four of Cups. Moon and Cancer. Yeah, very regular tarot meeting there. Mars and Scorpio. I think they'll look really nice in a spread. Six of Cups. I wonder, hold on, does this one go in as far with the six? Not necessarily. Kind of went with the Wands in that case. Ah. Missed an opportunity with the Scorpio one, but that's okay. Seven of Cups. Venus and Scorpio. Eight of Cups. I like the 9. More of this, please. Deep fulfillment and a paradigm shift. 10 of Cups. Maiden of Cups. Witch of Cups, in which case is the Knight. I think there's like an underlying thread of message running through most of these cards. And it's kind of like an unspoken thing, but that if you're going to do any of these rituals, any of this concentrated energy focus, you gotta know what you want, which is, I think, the first step that everybody forgets to maybe emphasize a little bit, but you gotta know what you want in order to get it, in order to make these moments and this concentration of energy really do anything. You have to know it's what you want. And like, it's not just like, oh, I know. It's like, no, you know in your heart of hearts that is not just what you want, but is everything. And you got to be willing to make the sacrifices and put the energy in towards it. So it's Two of Swords. We're just motoring through, losing steam. There's the three. Three of Swords is one of the spiciest cards in the deck, and one of the most intense. In a deck guided by love, this is especially true. It represents heartbreak, pain, and torture. But it's a beautiful Three of Swords. Like, I wouldn't be mad if that came up for me. Four of Swords. I rest and integrate lessons of my heart. So yeah, it's very... The message of tarot still stands. It's still a tarot. Bottom line, it's still a tarot. Can be used as a regular good old-fashioned tarot. 6. With a swan. 7 of Swords. I do like the 7-pointed star. It needs to show up more often. We love a 7 around here. See anything? There's thorns on that rose, which is nice for the 7. A reminder, because 7's ruled by Venus as well, right? And you got to remember that 7 isn't necessarily a comfortable card, and that one's kind of like Netzach. Everybody's kind of, 7s are trouble, tricksy, and it's really an emphasis of that thorn aspect of the rose, right? Beautiful bloom, but also it stands on top of a branch covered in thorns. It is. Roses defend themselves in their own natural way, right? And if you've ever tried to prune a rose, you know that when they dig in, they dig deep and they dig fast and they draw blood. So remembering that about the 7s, I think will be important and really good. So like the thorn imagery there. Looks like it was put intentionally as well. 8 of Swords. A little baby skull on it. 9 of Swords. Oh no, I don't like what the book says. Not a fan of the wording on this one. But that's okay. The card itself is fine. It's in a pippy sense. It's okay. Nothing groundbreaking. It's okay. And then the 10. Page. Witch of Swords. I like her. Carrying her little flaming heart there. Queen of Swords. And the Crone of Swords. I like this card. This one's awesome. She's really good. Alrighty guys, we're into the Pentacles. Got Venus of Willendorf on here with some snakes, 7-pointed star, and a lotus. Some emeralds. I like those. I am happy with that one. That's beautiful. 2 of Pentacles here. Very thothy with the change aspect of it. But I like the balanced inside-outside bits of you in other places kind of aspect of that card. That's good. I don't mind this as well for the 3. Easy enough. Just the 4. Don't know about that one. I don't mind the image. I'm just not so sure about what the book says. It's almost like it's moralizing a little bit, which I don't love, but that's okay. 5 of Pentacles. 6. Moon and Taurus. 7 of Pentacles. See, here we go. Saturn and Taurus, and there is actually Saturn and Bull, so that's good. That's right on there. Ooh, and the 9 of Pentacles. It isn't as... It says Venus and Virgo, right? Is it giving it? I don't know. I liked the emerald in the beginning, but I almost feel like there's an overuse of this particular shade of green. What's happening? Oh, man. 10. Page of Pence. Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Interesting with the coiled snake there, which gives me more wands than pentacles, but that's alright, I guess. I like all of her little animal friends. And the Crone of Pentacles. An earthy goddess if I've ever seen one. Okay. I'm exhausted. I don't know why that took so much out of me. Oh my goodness. But let's give it a shuffle. See what I think. Because on the go through, it's not a deck that I'm going to be learning a lot from, I think. Which is fine. Decks don't need to teach me things. I can just use them. I can enjoy using them. That's the plan. I want to cut those borders off though. It's so pink. This is so not my style, guys. Ooh, but that's okay. I like the fronts. The fronts are cool without the red border. I think it shuffles okay. Like, I don't feel like this is gonna last forever. This deck. Like, it's just in the quality. Alrighty. I would like to... what have I done here? We're shuffling. Let's ask it. Goddess of Love Tarot. Who are you? Who are you? I'd like to know who you are. Okay, I got 2 cards. that came out. The first one was the Crone of Pentacles, so the King of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. It's gonna sound really weird. The more I look at this, the more it doesn't feel like the King of Pentacles to me at all. Why is that? Maybe I don't read the King of Pentacles in an ancestry kind of way. Like, the King of Pentacles is there. He's there now. He's in charge of now. He lives in the present moment. Or is this crone on this card is pulling from not now? And the Eight of Cups, you know, are walking away, are turning our back on something, are moving along, or abandoning something for reasons or other. Let's go to the book. As a living ancestress with the experience and the wisdom that allows her to ground through mind, body, and to make whatever decisions need to be made. She is the teacher, the guide, the mentor, the high priestess or the circle keeper who leads you into the secrets of the witch. She reflects the wisdom of the wild buried within the flesh, bone, and body. It is time to release outdated structures and logical thinking and step into her sensual waters. Yeah, that doesn't feel like King of Pentacles for me at all. And it has nothing to do with the maleness of the king. Like, King of Pentacles, genderness aside, it doesn't, I don't know. Fire of Earth. Like, this is almost a more like Earth of Earth energy. And then we're talking about sensual waters. Like, we're elementally all over the place. Claim the identity of the wise woman for yourself. She knows the language of Earth and is placed in spirits and power and body. I get the body part of the wise woman with the physical body of experience. I get that, but not necessarily in an ancestor kind of way. It can be like a crone of now. Because I trust my magic, I trust my wild nature, and I trust the wisdom and pleasure of my body. I don't know. Okay. Eight of Cups. One of the core concepts of Buddhism involves refuge. You take refuge or find stillness, support, and clarity in the practices, in the path, in the community, or Sangha. There you find supportive experiences, relationships, or place within yourself to be present in any experience. The release you're experiencing at the moment may be exactly what you need, but it can also be overwhelming. It's critical to honor the emotions presenting themselves, but be sure you're in a safe space to do so. This is where taking refuge comes in. Getting the higher ground to a place of internal safety is vital before you dive into the lessons and processes of what the hell just happened. Time of listening, tuning in. You aren't abandoning anything by taking a step back and honoring the present moment. I take refuge in my heart, in my healing, in my strength, in the goddess. I'm not on fire. Okay. All right, so that's what the deck is. The deck is confusing. Right now it's told me that taking refuge as opposed to moving on. It doesn't necessarily say where refuge is being taken. And in this case, let's assume it's the King of Pentacles, but taking refuge in the past. I don't know. I feel like this deck doesn't embody that energy either, so I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if does it know what it is? Deck, do you know who you are? All right, who's me? Let's just keep rolling right along. It's my fault also for not being like super hot right now. Like I'm low energy. I don't know if you can tell. But let's see. Who's me? If that's you, then who's me? I'm the Witch of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, which is Pisces. It's another Pisces card. So much Pisces. You know I don't get along with Pisces. It's not that I don't get along with Pisces. My sister's is a Pisces, but it's a hard one for me. Okay, Witch of Cups. I'm the Love Witch, apparently, whose chalice is filled with couture potion for those who inspire and seduce her. She weaves spells through her flesh, heart, and body. Why, thank you. I do. She's a vision of love embodied, but she is not a passive force. Follow her quest for the holy grail of romantic and divine love with the flame of the goddess in your heart. You're being called forth to ride your golden horse, to turn your most divinely perverse fantasies into reality. This is a card of seduction and flirtation, so embrace the desires of your heart. Perhaps you know someone who is led by love in this way, or you may turn to for inspiration, guidance, or erotic experiences. I'm a force of flirtation. I'm a force of seduction. I'm the goddess of love and lust incarnate. for the fuckboy card, that's perfect. Yes, 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 I am a fuckboy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, and last one. How, pray tell, will we work together? So far we've got no majors as well, which I always make note of. How will we work together? Who we got? We got 2. Okay. It's not a good sign, guys. 6 of Swords, 9 of Swords. Which my brain, if I were just reading tarot, would be like, okay, we're gonna move through something tumultuous and stressful. You're gonna be a companion through an overwhelming mental experience and that kind of thing. You know, help me turn my focus and attention towards what it is I'm going towards amidst a barrage of swords coming down in my way. But for some reason, I feel like that's not what this is going to say. I feel like this is going to say something different. So let's have a look. This is one of the gentler swords. Not that swords are as harsh and gentle as you want. Depends on who's wielding them. They're just a tool, like anything. Like, you know, a knife. You can chop your vegetables, you can kill a person. It's up to you. It's an omen of moving away from the pain and heartache, and it shows that you've passed a halfway point in the journey of the suit. Although it may not be a straight ascent, as always, the swords have surprises in store. This card represents a reprieve, a moment of stillness and calm amid the turbulence. Listen to your heart, and then make logical decisions that are balanced in both aspects of self and soul. This isn't about rejection or ignoring the truth in favor of blissful ignorance. It's taking the matter at hand and moving with compassion for yourself and the other. Indicating of something coming to a close, and although this could be literal, like ending a hookup or relationship, more than likely it's about your perspective. It's okay to rest and feel whatever you're feeling. Working with your mind and not against it is imperative. So again, a really just tarot meeting with a flavor of like a little relationship-y flavor, but not a relationship though that's like it's the basis of that is your relationship to yourself. So it's really making it more personal. It's making the general meaning of the card in a traditional tarot sense more personal to you and your relationship with yourself. What do we got for the 9? Damn, Boo, are you okay? Of course I have to read this one. This was one when we were going through. I'm like, I don't like what the book says about this one. Damn, Boo, are you okay? Is everyone you love okay? This card is no joke and represents mental and emotional pain that has the potential to manifest somatically in your body. Your heart may be hurting, your skin may feel too tight, and it may be hard to breathe. You suffering may be caused by the suffering of someone you love, which can be overwhelmingly painful to watch. The mind is powerful. You may know everything is fine, but you're unbalanced. Then reality contorts and bends to reflect that. There aren't many positive words to say about the 9 of Swords, but every card has its silver lining. You're nearing the end of the journey of the suit, and although the distress may not be over, it's likewise not infinite. The only way out is through, and this is when connection, relationship, and devotion to Goddess of Love can sustain you. Mind you, like the imagery though, it doesn't look so bad. It's okay, actually. I don't mind that. Ultimately, I'm gonna be thinking about it. It'll be a mental exercise in moving through something that I may or may not. I don't know. Maybe the ideas are pokey and I don't like them, and this deck will help me move through them. We'll see. Very curious. But ultimately, I really, especially with these 2 cards, I really don't have a grasp on who the deck is itself. These don't make sense to me, which is odd because I can usually read anything, but I don't know, that Crown of Pentacles. Was a Lotus on there? I don't know. I don't know about that. Because I feel like that card is not an accurate representation of the energy of the deck, especially with the 8 of Cups. But I don't know. It remains to be seen. I only just opened the box and we're dissecting it like it's a frog on my high school biology table, which I'm not sure it was expecting. So there's also that. But I like that it thought that I was the Knight of Cups. I can be like that sometimes, especially in the context of the theme of this deck. So, yeah, I'm gonna trim this. I'm gonna trim this. I'm gonna trim this probably pretty soon because I think it's beautiful and I think it needs to be freed of these red borders. And I think making it a little bit smaller would make it easier to handle. And it wasn't the most expensive deck ever, so it's not a huge investment piece on my part. So I think that's what we're gonna do. But I like the majors. I like the majors. I don't mind the Pippi minors. I'm not in love with all of the quartz. Some of the quartz are okay. The Wands quartz were really good. And a deck about sex, of course. I don't know. But the art's pretty. I don't think I really have any qualms with it. It's not like blowing my socks off, like I said. It's not anything revolutionary in the tarot ideas department, but it's beautiful and it aligns with a lot of, like, especially cards like this really align with the things that I like about tarot, the kind of expansive concepts that go beyond just the RWS meanings without just shoving your head up your butt. So yeah, and then there's the world one as well, which I do kind of like that. So I guess it'll take me some time with the other ones. It'll be one that I get to, and I probably won't be using this for anybody else anytime soon. I've got other decks that I prefer to use in relationship spreads, and if we were tapping into some sacred sexuality, like, you know, there's other places I'd probably want to go. I think this will be just a for me deck for now, until I figure out what it's about and what she has to tell me, but I don't know. But it feels, the energy of this deck, it feels not like a teenager, but like a young adult, like someone in, you know, 18 to 25. I feel like that's the window for this deck, and I am well past that window in my own personal, like, physical sexual experience, right? But at the same time, that's obviously, this deck may do wonders for someone in a different place, but I do like it. I think it'll be okay, and I may just be able to read it as like a pip deck. I think it'd be just a beautiful pip deck with a few little spicy, like a couple of esoteric ideas thrown into the mix. And I don't know if we passed it already, but I really like that Chariot card. I do. And it leads me to believe that whoever made it knows what it's about, so, or what it could be about. Tarot cards can be about whatever you want them to be, right? There it is. Yeah, I really like that. That's a card of sacred sexuality. It's also got Maynard energy as well with the leopards, which I appreciate. And being a water card, it is a representation of the emotional body that we move through our physical experience with. So, anyway. Okay. That's the Goddess of Love Tarot. That's been a dissection. What do they call that? When you have it's been an evisceration. That's what it's been. I've eviscerated it. So we'll have to see. We will have to see on that one. I also picked up, sorry, this video's gonna be so long. I also picked up these. This is the Grand Tableau Lenormand, and I've been meaning to get this forever because the Lenormand I've been using is over there. It's the old style one, which is the same, like even the same backs as the old style tarot that just came out by US Games, but it's been out for ages. And it's the only Lenormand I had. It's got writing on the back. It's got the titles on the cards, but I'm not in love with it. And it was also bigger, and I wanted one that's the proper Lenormand size. And this one's perfect. I've been meaning to get it for ages, and I just never did. So now I have this cute little guy. He's still in order. This is a facsimile version of the Piatnik. One of the Piatnik Lenormand decks, which I believe, hold on, I just need to double check. Here, we'll look at the cards real quick. But you've seen Lenormand decks before. This one just, it looks like your standard historical one with the playing card meanings on the top, the numbers, and then just an image. There's no word, but easy enough to know. I think, yeah, looks close enough, as that's in my book. I mentioned it in the Zoom meeting. We were talking about Lenormand, but this is the book that I use when I'm mixing cards together. It's really quite handy. Sorry, I've got a bunch of other papers and things because who doesn't? It's like a big hardcover. It's like a children's book, right? But the way it does it is really neat because each card has its own page. So for the birds card, it gives you the keywords on what it means, which would be in the little white book in this, which is great. But it also, the way Lenormand works as a divination system is the cards don't, like, they have their individual meaning, but they work best in groups and pairs. So the meaning shifts when you mix them together, and it's kind of a way that I learned to kind of like knit or sew tarot readings together the same kind of way, because it's like this is the one card, but this energy is modified by the one next to it, which creates a new and unique meaning. And it does that. So it gives you one for each of the cards. So if you've got the birds and say the clouds, those two together mean a problem is quickly solved. That's it. One line. They're very straight to the point. But with birds being brief suffering or sorrow, temporary misunderstandings, and clouds being kind of obscuring. Sorry, it's number 6. Let me just, I'm not the greatest at Lenormand. Yeah, difficulties, a problem or an obstacle is clouds. So I think of clouds as being like something that obscures within the sky, right? But with the birds, it being a temporary thing, then the meaning is a problem is quickly solved. So it's really handy if you want like the mixed meanings of all of the cards with each other. So that's been the book that I always like to use, and I'm pretty sure the backs are different, but it looks like the imagery is the same as, oh no, it's different. It's a different one. It's close, but not quite. Yeah, the clover has flowers on it instead of just this one. What deck is that? If anybody knows what Lenormand deck this one is, please let me know, because I would like it. I feel like it's like the classic one. This one is the closest to it. It's the Grand Tableau Lenormand, which it says here is based on the Piatnik. I don't know if you can read that. Yep, Ferdinand Piatnik and Son from Budapest. But it's pretty. I like it. Look at that cute little coffin. Adorable. Bouquet. Scythe. Whip. Anyway, they're still in order. I just want to do a little bit more studying before I get right into it. But I don't know. And this little guy, he'll come with me. I feel like Lenormand is just great to travel with too, if you just need an answer really quick. Love it. So I also picked up that one finally. Oh, I'm sad I didn't solve my mystery though. But anyway, that's alright. I'll figure it out one day. There's also a Grand Tableau. Shows you how to do that in the back, which is really cool, which is like the spread that you do when you use every card in the deck, which I always think is fun. Like, I love putting down a ton of cards, but it's almost like it's a tapestry, and there's so many meanings because all of the cards are out. It's like whatever ones jump out at you, or whatever, like, you know, whatever areas that you're reading. Like, you find the card, like the ring, for example, and then if it's close to this other card, it means something specific, and you read around the cards as to where they are and where they fall amidst all the other ones. And it's really interesting and really good. And it doesn't, like, there isn't one definitive meaning, but it's like you actively reading the way it is laid out is where the message comes out. It's really cool. I like it. It's a great concept. And I think it just looks really cool to have a whole table of these tiny cards. So anyway, this is going to be my Lenormand deck. I want these cards to get all old and beat up, live in my purse and pocket. You know how it is. I love a tiny deck. So anyway, that was the other little guy that I picked up, and that's a fun time. So this has been a video. I don't know. I almost wonder, do you think, here's an idea. Do you think that there's like too much exposition in the context of tarot decks nowadays? Like trying to give them a theme, trying to give them context, trying to give them something to make them different from everything else. Like in the act of explaining that in both like the back of the book or the back of the box and the front of the book, do you think that kind of ruins it? Like tuck box decks are great because like they're just like, this is what it is. It's not a big long story about how the fae are this and that, or, you know, these fairies, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is you know, these are the fairy folk and it's a tarot deck. Like, have at it, right? It's a tool. Like, you don't know a whole backstory on them. I don't know. It's just really interesting conversation to have. Like, and I think that's another reason why I like tuck box decks so much, because they're a tarot. This is what they look like, and then the ball's in your court to do whatever it is you need to do with them, as opposed to decks like this having it laid out more strictly, where it's like heavily suggesting that you use this deck for personal empowerment, you know, maybe like a little bit of sexual exploration or that sort of thing. But like, really, it's a tarot deck. You can still use it however you want, right? Like, ultimately, it's whatever. Tarot reviews are tarot reviews. You can use a deck however you want. It's just a tarot deck. I don't know. Oh, I'm having thoughts. I'm having so many thoughts. But I still think it's beautiful, and I think it's going to be cool, but I do need to chop it up a little bit and make it my own, and really not rely on what I think is in there. You know? Because Julia's artwork is gorgeous in this deck. Like, it has potential. I'm into it. So, anywho, okay, I have rambled long enough. This has been a video. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see all you fine people in my next one.